Hello, happy people. Hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at the Margaret St. Clair horror short story, Horrer Howce. It's spelled Horrer, Howce. It's misspelled intentionally. It's spelled that way in the short story too, so that way we'll know some fun stuff is happening. It is an interesting short story. It's about 12 pages in my collection that we've been taking a deep dive into. The best of Margaret St. Clair. As you can see, I'm mostly done with it. I'm probably about 80%, maybe 85% of the way through this collection of short stories by this person. This is the second horror short story I've read. It's my favorite short story I've read in this. It's got an interesting premise. The interesting premise is that our key point of view character is selling amusement events for a horror house. It's going to be sort of nationalized and put in a lot of different amusement parks. And these different rides and encounters in the horror house are definitely are toured, and we will tour a couple of them. And these things, and there's a darker truth to these horror things that are being toured. These rides and amusements are being toward, and you'll find out that there's a truth or a darker truth to them, and that's the horror short story in a nutshell. It's really good. It's well written. It's a lot of fun. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Now, the reason that we're doing a deep dive into Margaret St. Clair is that she's mentioned in the 1979 copy of the first edition of the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide. It's written by Gary Gygax. And Gary Gygax created a lot of modern fantasy through his Dungeons & Dragons in the early 70s, in the late 70s and early 80s. In that generation, a lot of modern fantasy, from novels to books, to video games, to movies, to comics, and more, all get their sort of marching numbers from Dungeons & Dragons. And so Margaret St. Clair is listed as a work that was influential on early Dungeons & Dragons. So I first read a short story by him in a collection called Appendix that collects a lot of these different things, that was recently published, that I've already done a deep dive for, by a short story called The Man Who Sold Rope to the Gnolls, which is a heavily anthologized short story by Margaret St. Clair in this collection. It's also in this next collection too. So I'm doing a deep dive into this one. It's mostly science fiction with now 2 horror short stories. I've given 7s to everything except for 1 6 and now 3 8s. So the general overall view of it so far is that I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 for this collection for you. And then that's it. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read Horrer Howce? If so, what did you think? Did you agree or disagree with my thoughts and take? If so, I would be more than happy to engage you with it further in the comments below, whatever your opinion is. If you like this video, why not hit that subscribe button, because there's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And then finally, I wanted to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it in watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.